Jillian, let's bring in House Ways and Means Chairman Jason Smith joining us now. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us and jumping on the breaking news with us. First, what is your reaction to it?
It's great to be with you, Sandra. I think that this should be concerning to all Americans, that this is an attempt to whitewash the Biden family corruption. I mean, Mr. Weiss is the single architect over that sweetheart plea agreement deal that the judge in Delaware threw out just a few weeks ago as saying it was awful and unfair. There were provisions within that sweetheart plea deal that granted complete immunity to Hunter Biden for these crimes and future crimes. And she even stated that she's never seen anything like that before. And who was the architect of that? Now the person who, Garland, who President Biden's Justice Department just appointed to be special counsel. I am very fearful that appointing the special counsel is just an attempt to stonewall Congress's investigation of the Biden family.
That is a remarkable reaction. Byron York says this: does it seem somewhat strange that Garland appointed the guy who approved the sweetheart deal with Hunter Biden to now be the special counsel for Hunter Biden? Mark Meredith just a moment ago at the DOJ referenced this moment. It happened in the White House press briefing room not too long ago when asked if the president would consider pardoning his son. Listen.
Is there any possibility that the president would end up pardoning his son?
No.
Well,
I just said no. I just answered.
That was a hard no, July 27th. A lot has changed since then. We'll see what we hear from the White House. They said they had no heads up on this announcement from Merrick Garland ahead of it happening today. What do you expect we'll hear from the president?
Well, let me just say, the president said that he wouldn't pardon his son, but this is the same president who several years ago said that he knew nothing of his son's business dealings. And then after the Ways and Means Committee released the public testimony of the two IRS whistleblowers that proved differently, the president then came out with the statement saying that he wasn't involved with his son's business dealings. The only thing that has changed over the last several months are comments from the Biden family. Our IRS whistleblowers have been consistent, and they're the ones that were brave to come forward to release all this information.
The Republicans have been calling for Attorney General Merrick Garland to tap a special counsel to investigate the president's son, as you well know, Congressman, for quite some time. But I imagine you didn't want Weiss.
Well, like I said, he was the architect of the sweetheart deal that the federal judge in Delaware threw out. Of course you wouldn't want them. The IRS whistleblowers, in their statements to our committee, highlighted how throughout the process, under Weiss's leadership of prosecuting Hunter Biden, that they saw where the Justice Department was delaying the investigation so much that the statute of limitations expired for the crimes of 2014 and 2015, where they divulged information to Hunter Biden's lawyers to give them a heads up of search warrants that they were going to do the next day. And also our whistleblowers highlighted where Mr. Weiss said that he was denied the ability to bring charges in California, in D.C., and also a special counsel. However, Weiss has given us multiple statements to Congress, 2 different letters to Jim Jordan and 1 letter to Lindsey Graham, and all 3 of them are saying something differently.
You know, Jonathan Turley said something very similarly just a few moments ago when he was reacting. The problem is the appointment of Weiss as special counsel, despite the testimony of the whistleblowers. For those IRS agents, this seems a lot like sending shoeless Joe Jackson back into the game after telling him, say it ain't so, Joe. Tom Cotton is reacting. Biden's DOJ wants to dismiss the charges against Hunter, supposedly to refile them elsewhere. No doubt before some liberal judge who will rubber stamp a sweetheart deal. Jim Jordan reacting. First, David Weiss said he didn't have the power he needed and wanted special counsel status. Then he said he had all the power he needs. Now he gets special counsel status because he didn't really have the power he needs. Something's not right, says Jim Jordan in a tweet just now. Congressman?
Well, Jim's completely right, Sandra. It should alarm any American, the fact that we've uncovered over $20 million that has came to the Biden family, and it's all because of, quote, the brand, according to Devin Archer. And the brand is Joe Biden, the Biden name. Why would all these foreign entities give money to Hunter Biden other than the fact that they believe that the Hunter family business peddling influence is there? And this is an individual that is rumored to be living in the White House with the president right now.
So noting that, obviously, after we just put on the screen the reaction that we got from James Comer, who's leading that investigation in the House, saying this move by AG Garland's part of the Justice Department's efforts to attempt a Biden family cover-up, Comer writes, in light of the GOP oversight's mounting evidence of Biden's role in his family's scheme selling the brand for millions of dollars to foreign nationals. That being said, final question to you, Congressman. The creation of this special counsel, could it really interfere then or block House committees' investigations into the Bidens? Can you tell us anything about that? Could there be an even bigger clash, as our own Chad Pergram suggests, if the House were ever to vote to launch an impeachment inquiry? Where does all of this go next, and how does it affect the House investigations?
Sandra, back the last week in June, myself, Jim Jordan, and Jamie Comer asked for 13 different individuals to come before our committees because we had more questions for them that we needed answers to. Mr. Weiss was included in those 13, but the Department of Justice, the IRS, has continued to stonewall our access to get to the bottom of the information. I am worried that this special counsel will only try to block Congress's legislative authority to investigate. And let me tell you, we're not going to slow down, because this isn't about Hunter Biden. This is about President Biden and his influence and how his son has helped enrich the entire Biden family.
Nice to have you on, Jason Smith. And as the news breaks and we learn more, we appreciate your time, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Sandra.
Jillian?
Hey, it's Will Kane. Click here to subscribe to the Fox News channel on YouTube. It's the best way to get our latest interviews and highlights. And click to subscribe to the Will Kane podcast for full episodes right now.